It was last year, August of 2024. I had gotten invited to my best friend's graduation party. I was genuinely so excited to go to this party because it wasn't just an ordinary friend. It was my best friend, and this was probably going to be one of the last graduation parties I'll be going to. So when I arrived at the graduation party, saw a bunch of my old friends. We reconnected, talking about, what's new, what's been going on. The usual, just talking to each other for a couple minutes here and then. And then I was mainly talking to my best friend after that, as we were very close compared to my other friends, you could say. Moments after that, my mate says, "Oh, let's get in the pool, guys. Come on, let's put on the swimming trunks, get your towels," as they were going to be playing volleyball in his backyard pool, which was massive, by the way. So it was a massive pool that he had. Everyone got their swimming trunks, towels. Most of the people that were there, they obviously got in the pool because they were prepared. But then there was me, who didn't bring it. Who didn't bring a towel, no shorts. So I was sitting on the sidelines whilst everyone was having fun, hitting the volleyball to each side. And then once they finished volleyball, they started to pass an American football around, which is a football. So for this instance, I'll say a football for the Americans watching. So they started passing the football around in the pool, and then they were occasionally passing to the people on the sidelines. As I was not the only one on the side. There were two other guys on the side with me, on my side, and then there were like two other people on the other side of the pool, just sitting. So I wasn't the only one on the side. So they started passing to us, and we'd throw it back to them, or we'd throw it on the other side of the pool. So that was a fun game, and it was fun. We were all passing back and forth to each other, just continuously on and on. Let time flow by, go on. The second I get the ball, put my right leg forward to pass the football, two people from behind me shove me into the pool. The second I start to throw that ball with the momentum forward to the other side of the pool, I get shoved into the pool. My life flashed before my eyes. I had no clue what the hell happened. All I know is that I was in water. I thought I was going to die or drown. It was horrible. I did not know what the hell was going on. I didn't know if I was going to make it out. And the second I got pushed in, all the family members, all the parents, grandparents that were sitting roughly on the side of the pool where the lounge chairs were, the tents were, they all noticed, they were all shocked. They were eyeballing what had just happened as they were shook. And then for me, I was struggling to even get out. I was trying to get a grip of something. I could not see a thing. I was soaked. I literally fell face first into the pool, which has never happened to me in my life. So I couldn't even tell what was going on. I couldn't even get a grip to get out. So the second I got out of the pool, I was drenched, full on. And the moment I got out of the pool, I just realised something. I had my car keys in one of my pockets, and the other pocket I had my phone. That realisation just hit me. There's no way I got into this pool with those things in my pocket, not knowing if they could work after that. When I dry my phone off, I tried turning it on, and at that time it had roughly 60-70% of battery, and it was not turning on at all. And that phone was an iPhone 8, very kind of old phone. I got that phone like 6 years ago. My best friend's mum rushed over. As soon as she saw that commotion of me going into the pool, struggling for my life to get out, not knowing what had just happened, shook. The whole crowd of parents just watching what was going on. And she rushed over and got me a towel, asking if I was okay, and saying, how could those boys have done something like that? And I was feeling the same way too, and I appreciate her for helping me at the time. After I kind of dried myself off, I was still soaked. Like, my Air Jordans that I was wearing at the time were completely drenched, and those things were in good condition too. Those were my best shoes, and they were just drenched. I had no change of clothes. I had to sit in these clothes for a good while. I knew I had to sit in those clothes for a good while, and I felt disgusted. I felt very angry at the time. Everyone laughed and played it off, he got pushed into the pool, it's fine, he'll dry out in like an hour or so and he'll be fine. After that incident, one of my close mates, he came up to me saying, "Oh, you should get him back, you should push him in the pool." Oh, I felt like a wimp. I should have done it, but I didn't do it. And so, my shoes obviously completely drenched. The worst thing that could have happened to me was the shoes too. And those shoes, I had to let them sit out in the sun for hours on end. Hours on end. They would take a long time to dry. As we even put like paper towels in the shoes and try and like unsoak them, but that was not working. So those shoes were ruined, which made me feel very upset at the time. And then about the phone, which was a really big deal for me, more than the shoes. We put the phone in a bag of rice, because apparently that was a solution to get your phone to turn on again. So we got some rice, put it in a bag, put the phone in the bag, and we just let it sit there for a good solid 10 to 20 minutes. And that didn't work either. And now I was thinking, what am I going to be doing? What am I going to do about all this? I was forced to sit in a chair, one of the lounge chairs, in the sun to just cool off for the rest of the party, going into the night. I was sat there for hours just watching them still play their volleyball game, and then they were playing basketball, and then they were doing their own things, and I was just sat by myself in isolation after what had just happened to me. That was the second I realised, were they really my friends? And I thought very deep about those so-called friends I had. Because were they really my friends? Were they really my friends? I thought about that for a good solid 10 to 15 minutes. I came to a realization that they weren't. I was easily getting taken advantage of in some of the most smallest situations until this situation. As friends are supposed to support each other and be there for each other, motivate each other. And I was not feeling that from those guys. They were there as, school friends, we joke around, have fun, hang out with each other. But that doesn't really show that they're your friends. I knew it was best to cut those guys off. I knew that hanging on to these guys will only keep dragging me down further and further into this pit of despair. That realization hit me so hard, because I could not hang on to these guys. I knew in the back of my mind, should not be hanging out with these guys, should not be these guys as friends. And so you should just set boundaries for the people you have in your life, because they really show and affect who you are. As the people you hang out with every day, they really do impact your life a lot and who you are as a person. Friends should have the same values and share these values with you. Don't be afraid to cut them off, as that's what I did. I cut them off, unfollowed them on Instagram, deleted them on Snapchat, got rid of the app entirely, cut them off entirely on social media and real life. I felt like a much better person than I was before with them, and I'm glad I did that. That was probably one of the best decisions I could have made in my life for my friend circle. It's okay to be alone rather than the wrong group of friends, so don't let your friends take advantage of you. Always be okay to cut people off when you do not need them in your life. I will see you in the next video.